Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter.
This video is about This Is Us moving into Season 5, and really, it's about almost everything that we know heading into Season 5. We have done a lot of theory discussion, we have gone through and talked about a number of different subjects.
Yep.
Here, though, what we're going to do is present some facts, present some quotes that show executive producer, creator Dan Fogelman has given to various publications over the past couple of weeks to give you a sense of some things that you can sort of put into your memory bank and sort of use as jumping off points to other discussions.
Yeah.
So we've got a handful of them. We're going to talk through a lot of them and share some thoughts. Before we dive in, though, if you guys do like this video, remember to give us a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. We will still have more This Is Us discussion coming, though we are, gearing up for the summer, and it's a long hiatus that is coming before the fall.
It is long.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have more talk about it here and there.
And if there's any theory stuff that you guys want to talk about, let us know in the comments, and then, we'll talk about it and see if we'll have videos about that too. Give us some ideas.
Why not?
Of stuff you guys want to talk about.
We're all in this, This Is Us. We're like a big Pearson family together. We can all, share ideas and have some fun conversations. All right, let's get into, though, thing number one, and that is the potential return of Sophie and Cassidy, even though neither one of them seemed to be the mother of Kevin's twins.
Yeah.
They're not done with the story yet.
Yeah, so according to, this is Dan, and this was through Deadline, Dan said, as Kevin is contemplating giving up on the idea of great love and cutting, then there's the cut to the women who he had very intense relationships with. There's a reason for that. These characters we're not done with. Whether or not it's related to Kevin, I can't say. So we know that obviously Madison is the mother of his children, Cassidy and Sophie. Sophie was a great love. Cassidy also had very important role in his life, in his sobriety, connecting with Nicky. I mean, they were all very influential in his life. The idea that Dan brought up that he can't really say whether or not them being around is related to Kevin, I find the most interesting.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it's about Sophie, because I don't think Sophie has a lot of relevancy to this story unless she is tied to Kevin. But Cassidy, and I mean, maybe this is where you're thinking with this, does it have to do with Nicky and that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, when we saw Cassidy only for a second, but she kind of looked like she was a bit out of sorts when she came into that trailer. At first I was kind of like, is she pregnant? Is she struggling with her addiction? I'm not sure what's going on here, but clearly something is going on because she is still talking to Nicky.
So I think whatever it is, I don't think they brought back Cassidy just for a, hey, look, it's Jennifer Morrison moment. I think it is okay, yeah, we're not done with her story yet. But, I mean, we're obviously going to have to wait and see what that is. I think for Sophie, it's a little bit more clear-cut that maybe there's more to tell with her and Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, so idea number two, going into the end of the series, and that season 6 seems to be the end, at least for now.
Yeah, so when Dan was talking to the Hollywood Reporter, he said, we're obviously picked up through season 6. It was a gift to be picked up for 2 consecutive 3-season pickups, which we asked for, which was really kind of the plan to map out our storytelling in a big picture way. Yeah, that's when the Pearson story will basically come to a close. So it sounds like he is saying that season 6 is going to be the end, but he kind of left himself open a little bit when he said that it will basically come to a close. It makes me kind of wonder if as the seasons are going on and he comes up with something else that's an important story to tell, it kind of leaves it open a little bit for him that if he needs to tell that story, maybe he'll be able to.
It's sort of like if I say I'm basically done having cake, and there is another cake that comes into the house. I am not done having cake anymore. Like, there is a chance that something will happen. Maybe NBC will dump a mountain of money upon Dan's house.
Yeah.
And he will be like, basically, I'm not done with This Is Us anymore. Or maybe he's not done with this story, but he's done with the Pearsons and we go in some other direction.
Yeah, kind of where he was talking about with that, I was wondering if maybe he's thinking about sort of a spin-off with some of the family. So maybe we'll be moving into, I don't know, Jack Damon's life or some of the other characters that we've met. Sort of a continuation of the family, and Rebecca will be gone, Miguel will be gone, maybe the big three will be off doing something else, maybe it'll be so far in the future that they won't be around anymore.
I think this is a conversation that's going to be really fun to have like a year from now, because I think that's when NBC's executives are going to be running around their offices just being like, what is going on? What is going on? This show is going to be ending. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be calling Dan aplenty, wanting spin-offs at that point.
Yes, I think so too.
All right, so number 3 here, we're going to talk about my old pal, Dr. Horse, which he's not really my pal. I was kind of annoyed that he got so much screen time on the finale. By the way, for those who didn't see it, Dr. Horse is what I'm calling that doctor who seems like he's going to be Madison's doctor through all of this.
Yeah.
And Jess has this quote, and this is fascinating to me.
Okay, so Dan's talking to Deadline. He says, the doctor becomes an important character next season to Kevin. He's having twins with a virtual stranger, not a normal birth experience. It's no coincidence he was introduced in the same episode that Dr. K returned.
See, I know you saw comments of people saying that maybe Dr. Horse is actually Dr. K's son or some other tie in there. Could that be a clue?
It could be. I actually was thinking more so that the idea is that he's kind of Dr. K returning and then Dr. Horse being there, that almost it's just sort of a mirroring of what his parents also went through, because obviously he's a multiple. His parents became very close with their doctor. Now he's having multiples, and Madison said that she's had some trouble. She knew that she was told she wouldn't get pregnant, or she'd have very difficulty getting pregnant. There we go. And so I think that the doctor was going to be important, not just to Madison, but also to Kevin, that maybe it's sort of a life repeating itself sort of thing. And now Kevin is in the position of Jack and Rebecca, where he is going to have a close relationship with his doctor, because this might not be that easy of a pregnancy.
I think he must be thinking of him as sort of a guidance of someone who's going to offer him support, advice. Yeah. Maybe he's confused. I mean, maybe there will be an interesting relationship that sort of struck up here, because I don't know if Kevin's going to know who else to really go to. I will say this, Coco Vanderwolf here, really big fan of Dr. Horse. She's holding down the fort for the rest of us, while I'm still like, why did we get so much Dr. Horse in this episode?
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to number 4, and that is, there's going to be more of Miguel and Rebecca's relationship being explored, which I know we have already talked about in a video already.
Miguel.
Okay, now we sound like a cult. Okay, anyway.
Okay, so Dan was talking to TV Guide, and he said, this is a very long quote, so I kind of shortened it to sort of the meat of it. He said, it's an opportunity for us when we land in St. Louis with Rebecca and Miguel, but here's an opportunity where we're going to be joining them in this location together. And that will allow us to kind of get towards a further understanding of how their relationship bloomed, then stalled, then kind of bloomed again, and really get inside their lives. And this is something, as you said, we have been clamoring for, because we've seen all these different branches of the Pearson family, all the sort of in-laws, everybody that's had some stories. And then there's this huge chunk of Rebecca's life with Miguel that's just missing. So it's been very long overdue for us to get some Miguel backstory. How did this happen? How did they get together? Did they deal with guilt, misery? Were the kids awful to them? We know that there's some stuff going on with Miguel's kids and some resentment going there. What's that from? Is that from the relationship he had with their mother? Is it then about Rebecca? Like, what is it?
Here is my thinking. You title this Rebecca and Miguel. Let's just keep it simple here. You do a big story for them in the present. You do a big story for them in the past. Don't really have a lot of other people in this episode. Maybe have them show up here or there, but actually make this all about Rebecca and Miguel. I don't need any distractions. I don't need any other foolishness. Don't throw poor John Huertas like out the window again with like 2 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, it's time, man. Just give us Miguel already and tell us this is such a huge portion of her life that is missing. Like, we need to know what happened. Whether we like it or not, we need to know what happened. I didn't like that fight with Kevin and Randall, but I needed to know that it happened.
Yeah, it was still important, and I know not everybody likes Miguel, but, guess what? He's a part of the show, and also...
And you know what? I like him. I like Miguel.
It's also 5 seasons in. I mean, if you're going to stop watching now because of one episode of Miguel... granted, I'm sure there's some people who probably stopped watching Lost when Nikki and Paolo showed up, but that's an entirely different show. All right, well, let's move on to number 5, and that is Randall. He's going to find some support amidst his crisis right now, but it's probably going to be from his immediate family rather than others that we have seen over time.
Okay, so Dan was talking to Deadline again, and he said, while exiled from the rest of the Pearson clan, Randall will hold incredibly tight to his immediate family who will rally around him. And that's pretty much what I expected to happen. I mean, Beth has always been able to be a cheerleader for him, also call him out on his you-know-what when he's getting a bit out of hand. And that's why she's such a rock for him, and their connection is as close as it is.
And they are going to need each other. Like, they are going to really need each other moving forward for a lot of different reasons. But I think the biggest one is just that these are... 2 people who have both been through a lot, and Beth is going to recognize that, okay, even if I don't think Randall handled this the best way in every aspect, and it seems like she doesn't think he handled it the best in every aspect, she still recognizes that, he's her husband, and she loves him, and
he's hurting too.
Yeah, and, she wants the situation to be okay, and I think she understands why... Maybe he did what he did. I mean, maybe in the long road she can be a part of trying to mend fences, but that's probably a different discussion for another day. But it is something that I'm curious about.
Well, I'm also curious about how this is all going to be a ripple effect onto their daughters, because for Tess and for Annie, I mean, they are both really close with Kevin. Very close with Kevin, and Kevin is very close with them. So... very curious how this is all going to kind of play out. It looks like Randall's going to be leaning on his family, but is his family going to kind of all going to need to lean on him a little bit too? I mean, Kevin not being around is going to not be easy.
Also, where's Annie? Like, can we actually say more than like 1 or 2 things that we know about Annie? Like, she is the ghost of This Is Us.
And this season and what's going on with Kevin not being around is a perfect opportunity to give Annie more to do. And I know that a lot of shows have younger kids and they typically don't really know what to do with younger kids, but this is a really good opportunity because I think that Kevin being missing after him being such an important part of their lives is going to hurt them. So give Annie something to do, please.
Don't turn her into Yaz from Power. That is all I'm asking for. But okay, let's move on to finally, this is number 6. There will be answers coming on Kate and this whole future mystery, but we don't necessarily know when.
Yeah, so Dan was talking to Deadline and he said, I can't tell you if it happens next season or the season after, but definitely the answers will come by the end of the series. So basically... We're all waiting a while. Originally, I was hoping or thinking that maybe by the end of season 5 we would get some sort of answers, but it's sounding like Dan may decide to drag this out for 2 more seasons before we find out what is going on.
Gee, thanks, Dan, for giving us a quote that is pretty much everything we would have already assumed.
And everything I didn't want to think about, which is that we're going to wait 2 more full seasons, possibly, to find out what is going on.
I still think it's going to happen in season 5. I might be delusional, but that is my belief. I don't think he wants to guarantee it, though.
I don't know. As soon as he was like, definitely the answers will come by the end of the series, it's just like, come on, man.
Come on.
What was the bone? Something.
I know. Well, hopefully we'll get more teases throughout the coming months. We're probably not seeing This Is Us until at least September, but we'll be here for you along the way. But these are some of the important things to know at this point. But what do you guys want to see explored the most on This Is Us Season 5? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments. And if you do like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the store. And we'll see you here next time.